Hello everyone, Daryl the Northern Vinyl Guy back at you, and we are doing my Sunday Summary, a series which I've had going regularly every Sunday for the last little bit. This is the third segment in which I show an album that I listened to during the week that was a Canadian artist, one that was a soundtrack, one that was a compilation, one that is a great play, and then other albums that I have been listening to throughout the week. This week I've got a few doozies coming up, so we will see you on the flip side and check out what I've been listening to this week. Alright everyone, we are back at Sunday Summary, and let's get this thing started off with my first Canadian choice of this week. In fact, it is the only Canadian that I listened to, and this is an album that I have never featured. This album I got for $1 at a thrift shop, and this is on a Snow Can label. I do not know much about this particular artist. But the album is called Shattered Dreams by Warren, and as I noted, it is on the Snow Can label. Very cool right there. Now this album, Snow Can, this would have been played on some of the CBC radio and stuff like that here in Canada. The only thing that I could really find out about this particular artist is that on the back, right there, his real name is Len Chapesky Jr. And some of the songs that are on here, it's more like a folk country, definitely more country-like, Northern Ontario style country music on Snow Can. Unfortunately, the first song on side A is completely scratched, and it's the only one that is. You can kind of hear the tail end of it on here. It's called Shattered Dreams, it's the title track, and it's really good for what I can hear. And then it's got a song called Ottawa Express, and When I First Met You, Saturday Morning, Chasing Rainbows. If you're into that late 70s, early 80s, I guess country style music that would have been on CBC radio and things like that, you might enjoy this. To my knowledge, I had to input this in Discogs. I don't know if there's very many copies of this. I don't know how many there would be. If anybody knows anything about this album, if you have it, if you've ever seen it, I would love a new copy of the wax for sure, just because that first song is scratched and it does have some, I wouldn't say skips, but definitely some static. But side 2, Time is Empty by the Ottawa River, Manitoulin Morning, Canadian Boy, In the Country. A lot of songs about Canadian themes and locations. But yeah, no, this is a pretty cool album. If you ever have a chance to track it down, check it out. This one was dedicated to his mother. I did research Len Chapesky. I do believe that he is deceased. I did see an obituary out of the North Bay, Ontario area, and I believe it was him. It did mention that he was a musician. So unfortunately, that is sad. I don't think he's no longer around, but if you happen to know about him or anything about his music, let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear. All right, my second listen of the week was a soundtrack. This one I just got recently in a collection that, I think each record was like $1.25 each. And this is the 1980s soundtrack from the movie Out of Africa, featuring Meryl Streep and Robert Redford. This is more of an instrumental album, very relaxing. My wife heard me listening to this today, and she told me that it's like old man music in her opinion, but I think it's great. It is relaxing. If I'm feeling stressed out and stuff like that, I mean, this is the kind of album that I am gonna go to. Very chill. I'd love to watch the movie though. I've heard it's a pretty good movie. Once again, in the comment section below, what are your thoughts about that movie if you have seen it? Of course, this is just on the plain Rainbow MCA Records label. All right, moving on to my compilation listen for the week. All right, on Discogs, it doesn't tell me the year of this album, but I believe it is the early 70s. I think there was a UK press of this. I do remember purchasing this because unusually I do not buy very many things on eBay. But I did happen to buy this one called Reggae-matic Sounds, which is a series of reggae songs that would have been recorded in the 60s to early 70s. Reggae bands such as the Freedom Singers, the Sound Dimensions, Brentford All-Stars, the Freedom Singers, and a few more. Now, some songs that they've kind of turned, well, one song in particular they turned into a reggae version, which is definitely a lot different sounding than the original, is Aquarius. So they've done a very different version of that. But a lot of the songs that are on here deal with, of course, strife and stuff like that. I wouldn't say the same as some of the stuff that Bob Marley was recording, but definitely has some similar themes. This one here, though, anyway, the reason this is unique for me, anyway, is this is on the One Studio label, but it is a Jamaican pressing, recorded in Kingston, Jamaica. So I believe it was Kingston, Jamaica. But anyway, it was recorded in Jamaica. Yes, Kingston, Jamaica on the label there. So one of the few albums that I have that were pressed in the Caribbean. I do have another one in my collection, and maybe someday I will talk about that one. But yes, very cool. Reggae-matic Sounds, soulful #1 version. Jamaican press, if you get the chance. Check it out if you like that reggae music. I don't have too much reggae in my collection, but today I am featuring one. All right. Next, we have a good play, something that I thought was fantastic. And this one here is Melissa Etheridge's self-titled album. What year was this from? I think it's like 1988. This is her debut. I got this a couple years ago as a Secret Santa gift from one of my colleagues. This is a fantastic album. At one point in time, I wasn't a huge Melissa Etheridge fan, but after listening to this album all the way through, similar features, chrome-plated heart, Like the Way I Do, that is an amazing song. Precious Pain, Don't Need You, that is side one. And then The Late September Dogs, Occasionally Watching You, Bring Me Some Water, and I Want You. I mean, this is some really great stuff here. If you're not a Melissa Etheridge fan, but you haven't heard this album, I strongly recommend it. So her debut self-titled album, and that one is on the Island label here. Very cool, very cool. Yeah, you can't go wrong with this. I don't pull it out too often, but I mean, when I want to listen to some Melissa Etheridge, I always take that out. And it came with an inner sleeve, so I got an amazing copy of this, and it is, I wouldn't say it's in mint condition, but definitely near mint condition. Great choice. All right, now ironically, like Melissa Etheridge, kind of country-ish, not fully country, but country-ish. We're moving into some country rock, and 1989. I remember my dad had this on CD, Poco's Legacy album, featuring 2 singles, Call It Love and Nothing to Hide. But for me, this is a fantastic album through and through. Then a little bit of bad shape, as you can see, some of the cover's been peeled off and things like that. And I mean, the album's a little bit scuffed, but it does not skip. It plays all the way through. Wonderful. It's on the RCA label. Call It Love, to me, is a fantastic song. There's a guitar solo about 3/4 of the way through that song that is just amazing. And of course, Nothing to Hide, which I did mention was the other single on here, a slow song. So if you are into that, if you're into Poco and you haven't checked that one out, one of their later 80s albums, great stuff. Not a band you see too often in the VC. All right, I have a couple more albums here, and definitely contrasting styles on these last two. No, I have shown this one. This one could have fit the compilation bill, but this is Chicago's Greatest Hits, 1982 to 1989. Hard to say, I'm sorry, Look Away, Stay the Night, Will You Still Love Me, Love Me Tomorrow, What Kind of Man Would I Be? That's side one. And then side two, You're the Inspiration, I Don't Want to Live Without Your Love, Hard Habit to Break, Along Comes a Woman, If She Would Have Been Faithful, and We Can Last Forever. Wonderful, wonderful music. The Peter Cetera era of the band for the most part. If you like Peter Cetera's version in Chicago, you will like this Greatest Hits compilation. And of course, it is on a pretty cool looking label. What is this one? This is the Reprise label. Neat stuff. And last but not least, an album that I have not featured out of my collection. I think this one's from 2017, this album. This is a concept album called The Desaturating Seven by Primus. And for people that know me, you will know that Primus is probably one of my top 3 favorite bands of all time. This is one of their more recent releases, The Desaturating Seven. As I mentioned, it is a concept album. Side A, the 3 songs, are called The Valley, The Seven, and The Trek. And then side B is The Scheme, The Dream, The Storm, and The Ends. And it is inspired by an Italian writer named Alderico, and he wrote a book in the 1970s, a children's book called The Rainbow Goblins. And the album kind of goes through the different stages of this children's book. So, as the back of the album says, once there was a land that lived in fear of 7 goblins. The goblins fed on color. They prowled the valleys and climbed the highest mountains looking for rainbows. And when they found one, they caught it in their lassos and sucked the colors out of it, filling their bellies with its bright liquid. Only one place in the land had never known goblin fear, the hidden valley called the Valley of the Rainbow, where the arches of color were born. There the animals lived in paradise. That is a description of the book. And to my understanding, I've never read the book, but the book goes through the 7 colors of the goblins that they stole. And the album goes through those phases in a concept format. Very alt-like, true fashion with Les Claypool. Very bizarre stuff, but I tend to love their music, and this is on a very cool wax. Very cool see-through color. I think it's great. As you can tell, the 7 colors of the rainbow from the book on that splatter-ish type vinyl. So what are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments section below. And what do you think of these bands that I've been listening to? What do you think of my Sunday summary series? If you are a continuing watcher of my channel, I do thank you for supporting me and continued support. If you are a new watcher of my channel, please click that subscribe button, leave some comments down in the section below, leave me a thumbs up, click that bell, and pass it on to your friends that I am doing these videos. Please pass along my channel. But until next time, We will see you next Sunday with the next Sunday Summary series. Have a great week, and we will see you next time. Take care, everyone.